There is a mountain standing between you and the life you want. Or have you ever felt like you are standing in your own way? Like no matter how much you want to grow, something inside you keeps pulling you back. But what if that problem is not your past, not your family, not your environment, but the part of you that hasn't healed yet? Peace and blessings to you. Welcome back to the channel. Here we don't just read books. We translate truth into daily life. Here I break down powerful ideas from books and scripture and turn them into practical actions you can actually live out. So your reading produces real change, not just information or inspiration. So this channel exists for one purpose: turning truth from books into lived transformation. So if this is something you are interested in, please take out some time to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and share it. Thank you. So today's book is called The Mountain Is You by Brianna Wiest. And this is not a motivational book. It is a book about self-sabotage, emotional pain, inner healing, and personal transformation. And please, before we dive into the book, in this video, I'm going to explain what self-sabotage really is, walk you through the core ideas of the book in depth by bringing out the problems, diagnosing it, and give a solution to that problem. And at the end of the video, please, this is one of the most important part of this video. I will share a 7-day implementation plan designed to move you from awareness to healing that you can actually implement in your life. And please don't forget to share your results with me and what actually stood out, as I will be reading every comment in the chat. So first, before we dive into the video properly, this book is especially for people who feel stuck despite having potential, are carrying unresolved emotional pain, they keep repeating the same patterns, or maybe you sense that the biggest obstacle in your life is internal and not external. This is who this video and this book is for. And this book or this video may not be for you if you are only looking for quick motivation or productivity hack, or you are not ready for emotional honesty, or maybe you prefer surface level self-help without reflection. So this is a self-awareness and healing book, not a hustle book. So if you are in a season of reflection, healing, or transition, let's get into the video. So stay tuned as you want to get a paper, a book, and a bottle of water as we get into the video proper. So point 1 of this video I want to talk about is the first point is I keep self-sabotage even when I want better. And one of the most important ideas in this book is self-sabotage is not self-hatred. It is self-protection. Like each time you want to do something, but you always feel like yourself is keeping you safe. Like most people think self-sabotage means laziness, weakness, or lack of discipline now. But here, Brianna Wiest explains that self-sabotage is a learned response. Like that's something you've been practicing like almost all your life. At some point in your life, certain behaviors helped you survive, like avoiding conflict kept you safe, like staying small kept you accepted, like overthinking helped you feel like you're in control, or maybe procrastination protected you from failure or disappointment. So the problem here is not that these behaviors exist. The problem is that they are still running your life long after the danger has passed. So in this first point, the main key problems are, if you're seeing these problems, you want to really take note of it. The main problems are, you want to grow, but you procrastinate, you delay opportunities, you quit when things get serious, you retreat when progress starts showing up. You know, please, we are bringing out this problem not to create shame, but what Brianna Wiest diagnosed in this first point, he explains that self-sabotage is self-protection, as I earlier mentioned. It's like your mind is not trying to ruin your life. It is trying to keep you safe based on past experiences. It is trying to keep you in your comfort zone. And that is why it is so difficult to get out of your comfort zone, because everything you had been practicing before, your mind, your nervous system, they are already so familiar with this, that any discomfort becomes so hard. It becomes like pain. And that is why you take so much time to come out of your comfort zone. And it is a way of yourself also protecting you. So the solution to this problem, you want to implement this solution. And the problem I want you to ask yourself is, please stop asking yourself, what is wrong with me? Yeah, I've asked myself this several times. What is wrong with me? And start asking yourself, what is this behavior protecting me from? Because remember, these are behavior you've been practicing over the years, so they are protecting you from a particular thing. So for example, you procrastinate launching a project, starting new habits you really want to adopt. So what it looks like on the outside is you miss deadlines, over preparing instead of executing, waiting for the perfect time. If you see this, and what the behavior may be protecting you from, like, remember, they are behavioral patterns. So what this behavior may be protecting you from is, number one, is fear of failure. Like, if you've never launched, or you've never faced public criticism, like, or you've never faced rejection, this is what it might be protecting you from. Point two may be fear of success and increased responsibility. Like, this is where most people shy away and don't want to be accountable, because success will require consistency. It will require leadership, accountability, and the pressure to maintain all these results. And that is why procrastination will always, it will feel safe. It will feel safe for you. And point three could be fear of identity change. Succeeding will force you to let go of old self-image. So point four is fear of being seen. Visibility can trigger old wounds tied to judgment, like tied to judgment, comparison, or being misunderstood. And delay becomes a way to stay emotional hidden. Like, when you treat self-sabotage with curiosity instead of shame, change becomes, and this is what I want you to apply in this point one. So point two, I understand what to do, but I can't do it. That is point two. You really know what to do, but then why do you always not get it done? Another powerful theme in this book is that Self-sabotage is emotional, not logical. And you know, you can understand what you really need to do and still don't do it. Why? This is because unprocessed emotions live in the body. And here Brianna Wiest explains that trauma is not just what happened to you. Trauma is what you didn't get to process, express, or feel safely. So learn to express every emotion you feel. If you want to cry, cry. If you want to laugh, laugh. Always express your emotions. Don't suppress them. Don't keep them, and don't try to cover them. And this is why sometimes you shut down when things get intense. Some of us can't even work under pressure, and you avoid commitment, and or maybe you numb yourself with distraction. You always keep yourself distracted, or you repeat patterns you said you would never repeat. Like, how many times have you promised yourself, not to do that particular thing, or to stop doing certain things? And the problem I want you to take note of in this part 2 is you've read books, you've watched videos, you know what needs to change, but nothing changes. Those are the problems I want you to take note of. And what this book actually diagnosed is that this is not a knowledge problem. It is an emotional problem, because unprocessed emotions live in the body and not in the mind. So until they are acknowledged, they control our behavior, and that's why we keep behaving in certain ways. So the solution here is healing requires feeling before fixing. Like, take out time to feel every emotion that surfaces. Don't try to suppress them. Instead of forcing discipline, I think you should take a time, pause, like name that particular emotions you're feeling. Is it anger? Is it fear? And allow it to exist. Don't suppress it. Allow it to exist without judgment, because emotional awareness creates behavioral freedom. And healing doesn't begin with discipline. It begins with emotional awareness. And until all these emotions are acknowledged, they will express themselves through behavior. Hope you are enjoying it. So point 3 here, I'm afraid to move forward. Point 3, this is the point I want to talk about. And one of the most eye-opening ideas in the mountain is in you is this: failure feels familiar, success feels uncertain. We are so familiar with failure. Many people think they are afraid of failing, but in reality, they are afraid they are afraid of responsibility, visibility, change, outgrowing old relationships, becoming someone their past no longer recognizes. You might have never think this way, but this is the truth. Examine your life. Just think about it. Because success requires a new identity, you know, and identity change is uncomfortable to many. So the mind says, let's stay here. Let's stay where we are. At least, yeah, we know how to survive. And that's why you will hear several people say things like, I'm someone who doesn't do this and that. I'm someone who say something and does it, and even God doesn't know you like that. So I want to tell you to stop limiting yourself. Stop claiming identities who are not who you really are. So the main problem here, if you want to, the main problem here is you hesitate when things improve. Like you downplay your growth, or maybe you self-limit yourself right before you expand in life. So the problem is the diagnose from this book. So the diagnose this book gives is you are afraid of who you will have to become if you succeed. Because success requires new boundaries, new identity, new responsibilities, and that threatens the old self. So the solution I want to give in this part is the solution you really want to implement is grieve the version grieve the version of you that survived, like your old self. Yeah, grieve it. And you can say to yourself, thank you for getting me here. You don't have to lead anymore if you really want to stop self-sabotaging, because you don't have, you don't abandon yourself, you evolved. That is life. Self-sabotage often appears right before breakthrough because growth threatens the old self. So point 4 we will be talking on is I'm always in survivor mode. This book emphasizes that the person who survived your past, it's not meant to lead your future. And this is so true. Like, and survivor identity sounds like I can only rely on myself. I must always be strong. I can't slow down. When you start talking like this, if I rest, everything will fall apart. When you start talking like this, you start experiencing these emotions, and these beliefs may these beliefs were useful once, but now they are heavy because growth requires grieving who you had to be and what you didn't receive, the safety you never had. So the problem if you so the problem here is if you start identifying this, know that if you start identifying this problem, you're always alert, always preparing, always pushing, and rest feels unsafe. That could be the problem. And here, what this book diagnosed is survivor identity was formed in environments where safety was uncertain. But survivor is not the same as living. Those are two different things. When survivor becomes identity, when survivor becomes identity, peace feels unfamiliar. And the solution I want to give you here is safety must be created internally through boundaries, stillness, honest self dialogue. Like you teach your body that the threat has passed, and you don't heal by pretending you're fine. You heal by telling the truth gently and consistently. Are we having a good time? Are we enjoying? Let me know in the chat. So point 5, I want to talk here. The final point is my pain feels like a problem. Please. Here, Brianna Wiest reframes pain in a powerful way. Pain is not here to hurt you. Pain is here to inform you. Your emotions are signals. Anxiety points to misalignment. Resentment reveals boundaries. Exhaustion shows overthinking. So the problem here is you want discomfort to disappear. If you're feeling this way, you fight your emotions. You label pain as weakness. And what this book diagnoses is pain is not punishment, it is communication. Your emotions are messengers pointing towards misalignment. And the solution I want to bring to you under this point 5 is listen instead of suppressing your emotions. You can ask yourself, what is this emotion showing me? Like, what boundary is being crossed? What truth am I avoiding? Because I realized that pain becomes guidance when it is honored. Like when you listen instead of suppressing pain, when you listen instead of suppressing, pain becomes a guardian. You climb the mountain by integrating yourself, not fighting yourself. So, awareness alone doesn't change your life, but integration does. So, here we have our 7 days implementation plan. Day 1, observe without fixing. Today you can tell yourself, like, today you just simply notice what you avoid, when you avoid things, when you shut down, when you overreact, or when you numb yourself. Day 1, you're just observing and you're not judging, please. You're just being aware of your emotions. Then day 2 is you're naming the patterns. You choose one pattern that you notice from what you observed yesterday, and please, you write them down. When does this show up? What does it stop you from feeling or facing? Because clarity removes shame. And day 3, you focus on tracing the origin. When did these emotions actually start? Like, you ask yourself, when did this pattern begin? What did it protect me from? And honor the version of you that survived. Like, pat yourself in the back. And day 4 is where you feel instead of escaping. And what I want you to do on day 4 is allow the emotion to exist without distraction. Sit with the emotion. Is it sadness? Is it fear? Is it discomfort? Sit with it, because you don't need answers, just present. And what you can do on day 5 is release the old role. Release the old role. Write a short sentence, a short statement. It could be like, I no longer need to be safe. You point out the emotion. You no longer need it. And you could read it out slowly to yourself and let it sink. And day 6, choose a new response. When the old patterns show up, you can decide. You pause, choose a different response, even a small response, like, I don't have to keep on feeling this way. And please, you can give yourself time to practice and integrate all these response, because growth happens in micro moments, in these small moments. And day 7, commit, reflect. What did I learn about myself? What am I ready to do differently? And please, commit not to perfection. Nobody is perfect, but to awareness. So thank you for staying all through to the end. Let me know what actually stood out for you in this book, because The Mountain Is You teaches us this truth. You are not broken. You are becoming aware, and growth is not about force. Healing is not about pressure. Transformation is not about alignment. The mountain is not here to defeat you. It is here to reveal you, who you truly are. Thank you for watching to the end, and See you in the next video. Bye.